scored your moments. When you celebrated, we turned it up. When you stumbled, we lifted your spirit. When the nation held its breath, we
Props over Cardinal John Onaiko. You might want to stay tuned for that as well. And the House of Representatives prepares to interrogate the controversial head of a federal agency. These are the stories everyone will be we're talking about today, right now. Welcome to the front page. Let's start off with the first one right now. Tinubu approves a major military salary increase right now, and of course I'm not alone. I've got Wale in the studio with me right now. Wale, good morning.
Good morning, Sugar. How are you?
I'm great. Never been great. I mean, it's a beautiful Wednesday.
At least there's no the weather is friendly now.
Yeah, the weather is friendly. This is what we call the August break.
Well, I hope so.
All right, let's take a look at this one. Tinubu approves major military salary increase.
All along, when you look at the operation of the terrorists, and the question I keep asking is, who are the major financiers of this terrorism? Because the soldiers, the foot soldiers, the fighters, the informants are getting well paid. Let me give you an instance. When Boko Haram started in Nigeria, that time they used to burn houses and churches, and they said to burn one house you get like some of 5,000 naira. Then and again now, when you look at the massive recruitment of these terrorists, you realize that somebody is actually pumping money there. And it got to a stage that some of our soldiers were actually working for these terrorists. So what is the motivation? Why were they really doing it? Could it be because it's more financially buoyant for them than working for the side of Nigeria? And sometimes when you hear how much our soldiers are earning, you begin to look at it and think again that can I really risk my life for this money?
According to reports, the annual military wage bill will rise from approximately 660 billion naira to 924 billion naira, covering over 250,000 military personnel. So the review reportedly increased salaries between 30% to 80% depending on the rank.
Yes, it's 30%. The higher level they get 30%, but those one the warrant officer and the officer they get like 80%. And those are the ones that really need this increment. If you look at it critically, there was a guy serving in Borno. He got passed to come to the south to go and visit his family. He said when he got to the park, he realized that his salary could not even cover his transport back home.
Exactly,
So he has to stay back. So for you to really put your life down to serve the country, there should be a motivation. I remember there was one program that we had on TV, and we were comparing the food that Nigerian soldiers are eating in the battlefield. They want the American soldiers are also eating the battlefield.
And this is what led Justice Crack to the DSS.
DSS. And it's so sad. And how military personnel, they are so funny. You see somebody fighting for you, and you still go after those people. It reminds me of what happened to some soldiers in Akure some years back. They were complaining that people were diverting their allowance, and the next thing was to charge them and sentence them to death. It took the intervention of Falana to save them from the Golgotha. So it's long overdue. But what we see this government do over time, and the previous government, it will be increasing the salary of the judges, increasing the salaries of
what will benefit them directly.
And without considering that these judges cannot function, these doctors cannot function if there is insecurity. And what are those people responsible for this insecurity, to tackle this insecurity? You are in this office now because somebody is out there waging out any threat to your life. So these are the people that sacrifice their life, they sacrifice their comfort, they sacrifice the relationship with their family. But then you be giving them 100,000, 150,000 naira a month. And that's why you see some of them not justifying the criminal activities they are involved in, though. That's why you see some of them seeing weighing option of being involved in these criminal activities to augment their income. And you see how many of these soldiers can really boast of a decent accommodation.
So for years, soldiers have actually complained about poor remuneration, outdated equipment, Poor housing, delayed allowance. Nigeria is currently battling insurgency, banditry, kidnappings, oil thefts, communal violence. And government believes improved welfare will actually improve the morale.
The pronouncement yesterday, although we
and reduce corruption.
We have doubts, so somehow.
Okay.
The announcement yesterday is long overdue. But I spoke with one retired officer and I said most of these statements you heard about the improved allowances for military personnel are always on paper and on gazetted.
I was about that when it was going to take effect.
Until well-respected officers got the alerts that we believe it. And again, most of this money, most of these welfare packages, government used to release it. But what happened? Those who are really in need of it, did they get it? Is the government really tackling the corruption at that level that there won't be a situation whereby these guys on paper will have been paid these allowances, but it will really get to them? Just like what we have in the prison service, where the government tells how much they are spending to feed a prisoner a day, and it's beginning to compare whether that is the reality on ground or not.
Yeah.
So not approving it is just enough, but they really need to monitor it to ensure that the people actually get this increment.
All right, Lagos, be a part of the conversation. 091 1000 2937 or 091 17771937. I better still send me a WhatsApp message on 0812 806 2337 0812 806 2337. Let's quickly touch upon the next headline right now. Federal government says states must drive economic growth. So the federal government says Nigerian economic reforms have actually reached a stage where states government must now become the major drivers of economic growth. So this message was delivered during the commissioning of a project in Ekiti State. The federal officials actually argue that reforms such as subsidy removal and exchange rate unification have laid the foundation, but governors must now attract investment, create jobs, and grow local, economies. We talked about this yesterday as well.
That's why we keep looking at the oil boom. The oil boom we have in Nigeria is really a curse or a blessing. Prior to that time, you have regions developing on their own, being creative. There's competition between the regions that time on how to better the life of the people within their domain. But when we add this up and we have federal allocation account, our governors, they lost their thinking cap, because they know that at the end of the month, what you do is just to turn your accountant general to Abuja, get your own share, convert it to dollars, and they share it among themselves. And they begin to stop looking at how to develop their own state at the pace that is available there. When you look at Lagos sometime under Fashola said, you look at Lagos and you knew this economic advantages in commerce and aquatic. So you begin to look at how to exploit that. But we have a situation that the only thing our governors do this time around is just to collect money and be waiting for the federal government allocation, which has not been working well for us. So now the governors were at the forefront. The governors were at the forefront of the removal of oil subsidy. And they keep giving so many reasons why they also should be removed. Now it has been removed, they get so much money. But what really are they doing with the money they are getting? You drive around the metropolis, you discover that the huge amount of money that is getting to these governors, what are they really doing with it? Exactly. And I keep saying we should stop blaming the federal government every time. We should stop blaming Tinubu every time for whatever is the lack of development in our various states. He has told us every time, your governor now has more money. But you know what these governors are doing? They believe that when they get the allocation from the federal government and they pay the workers' salary, then
it's over.
It's over. And I keep asking them, I'm a taxpayer. I don't work for government.
Exactly.
I also deserve to gain. It's a collective wealth we surrender to them. It's a collective.
Because if I'm not working for the government, why am I paying that huge amount of tax?
You have a station by, you need to tie your own road. All the streets are gated because you need to provide your own security. And the former governor of Oyo State, the late governor of Oyo State, we used to be on the social media platform. Now when he got I've forgotten his name now, the constituted authority, Ajimobi.
Yeah.
And he asked a question that we should suggest what we think you need to do to develop Oyo State. I told him, create a community in all the local government that we have all the facilities that you need. If you have constant supply of electricity, water, cinema, all other infrastructures in my local government, sugar, what am I doing in Lagos?
Exactly.
So if you develop your area, there will be less pressure on the community, there'll be less pressure on those developed areas.
So the thinking is very simple. The federal government cannot create every job.
Create everything. So why are you collecting money, huge sum of money?
The state now have to compete for industries, agriculture, tourism, technology, mining, and manufacturing. So each governor is expected to develop unique economic strategy.
That mining you're talking about reminds me of what actually the major problem of Nigeria, especially in the north. This mining there, we have so many resources domiciled there. Why are those people even extracting them? Now, when you say oil and gas belong to the federal government and the government is extracting them, having a dominant control over it, but whereas these mineral resources are being operated by gangs, cartel, cabal. So why can't we have a situation like we have in the oil and gas sector, that the government will also take over this mining sector effectively? We have so many illegal miners surrounding us, and they fight over this mining site, like NURTW fights over parks across the state.
Exactly, yeah.
So these are the source of income for government. And again, let's look at the issue of the NURTW. It's over time we say, okay, the market belongs to the local government for an oversight. The park also should also belong to the government. But we had individual hijacking the resources belonging to the federal government, the resources belonging to the state government, and the local government. But the reason is not far-fetched, because most of these people are being operated by those in power. If you know how much the NURTW is making, especially those ones in Lagos, it's even more than some states.
So this could actually encourage healthy competition among states. However, there are some
competing.
Exactly. There are some concerns though
for development. They're only competing for the size of their pockets.
Because many states will still depend heavily on federal allocations, and without improved infrastructure, electricity, security, investors' confidence, I mean, it may be very difficult for governors to deliver sustainable growth, if you ask me.
Yes, now the government now, you see them, the only thing they are doing now, do you know the what they are competing with now? The number of flyover they are building in their state. Even when it is not needed.
We're in the flyover era.
Even when it is not needed. It's just so funny that states like Osun State, for instance, is having flyover, and it's the second or third week after the commission will discover that it has escaped him. And you see, every state want to have cargo airports in their various states. These are the capital projects that are taking large chunk of money. The money that should have been deployed to other sectors, to develop other sectors. For instance, have you been to General Hospital?
That's another story.
Yes, Lagos State is trying as far as health is concerned, but we need to do more. We really need to build more healthcare facilities and employ more officers. I follow somebody to one general hospital in Lagos, particularly Orileage General Hospital, about 2 days ago. As at the time we got there, maybe around 9, 150, the person I followed was number 150. So imagine, let's say, give out maybe 500 patients waiting for about 6 doctors.
Wow. Anyway, away from that, let's take a look at the third headline for the day. House of Representatives to interrogate alleged agency DG. All right, the House of Representatives Committee investigating a controversial federal agency is preparing to question the agency's director general. All right, reports indicates the session will take place at an undisclosed location and date. The committee is investigating allegations surrounding contracts and management practice. So, lawmaker says the closed door session is intended to protect the integrity of the investigation. And questions are expected around procurement, contract awards, transparency, and public funds.
Basically, they said, in the case of the DG, Adeyemi. I don't want to call him fake DG for now.
Of course, he can't be fake. But there's just a little misunderstanding.
They said the reason why they want to die is because he's being kept to the police on the order of the courts, and they don't have power to override the decision of the court to compel the police to produce him. And because there are so many agencies already interrogating him, the ICP is interrogating him, the EFCC is interrogating him, the police is also investigating him, and that's why I have problem with the probe of this fake agency, so-called fake agency, because number one, we had the case in court, and while the case was still pending in court, the president announced that
the vote of confidence
on and again ordered the ICPC within 30 days to probe him. And while that one is ongoing, police still dragging to court. The rep said they want to investigate him. Why don't we just streamline this investigation so that we don't muddle everything up, so that it won't end up off your mic at the end of the day? Exactly. But interestingly, I read the report this one of the outcome of the investigation yesterday. But Adeyemi said he paid Gbajabiamila through a proxy the sum of 400 million naira, and people were asking, where did he get that 400 million? But yesterday, right? I knew where he got that 400 million naira from. Yes, because one man appeared before the committee and said he bidded to construct the official of Adeyemi, and Adeyemi said for him to get this contract, you really need to show commitment and capacity to handle this project. And guess how much he was asked to pay?
How much?
400 million naira. So the guy sourced for fun all around for his friend, and he paid the 400 million naira. And the committee asked him, is that not a bribe? He said no. That what happened was, he said, to prove that you had the capacity to do this, you must deposit so amount of money. And the guy said he believed it. Do you know why the guy believed him? The guy said that was his first time in Abuja, but he was driven to a facility within the federal secretariat with a red of security personnel around. And each time they come to pick in at the airport, it's always security cars with that used to come and pick him. So he had every reason to believe that I was dealing with a genuine government official. So the question now is, who are those people authorizing the security operative that were following this guy up and down? Who are those people who authorized the security number plate that the guy was using? But that one, we had an answer for that last week, because the Abuja bust another syndicate where they were mass producing diplomatic number and federal and government number plate. So it means everything is rotten. And that's why I said I am not agreeing with Adeyemi that Gbajabiamila was involved. I am not also agreeing with people who are blaming Adeyemi for this. Another am I is already Adeyemi. But we really need to take a holistic approach at everything and find out who are those involved. The head of service said,
especially this interrogation right now.
The head of service said we didn't do due diligence at that level.
Parliamentary oversight is actually essential, but however, Nigerians will expect transparency, public accountability, and of course, publications of findings. No crooked business, no hiding of any details, rather than another investigation that ends without consequences.
We'll take your mind back to all the investigation conducted by Nigeria Parliament. Which one did you get anything tangible? For me, I'm neither interested in the probe of the National Assembly. Now, they should allow all the security agents to do their jobs. At this point, at the end of the day, it's just a sheer waste of the resources and time of Nigerian people. So they should allow, just like the president has directed the ICPC, let ICPC conduct its investigation and submit its report. Then let us know whether the matter will proceed to court or not. Not this jamboree we are having at the National Assembly level. We don't. That one we're not going to get any meaningful result out of this. So, fake DG or no fake DG, how did he get all the code? They said he got some code because they acted on one fake letter or the other. We should get to it. We want to get to the bottom, not because of Adeyemi this time around, but what has been happening to Nigeria resources through these phantom agencies.
All right,
so really need to get
let's to the final story for the day right now. This on the Punch, Vanguard, and of course the dailies. Political roll over Cardinal John Onaikon. All right, so it's a fresh political debate has actually emerged following the comments involving Cardinal John Onaikon. A former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike criticized the respected cleric, accusing him of political bias. Northern Youth Group responded by defending the Cardinal's public comments. Religious organizations have also weighed in right now. The story highlights the growing intersection between religion, politics, and public commentary.
Now, when the president or whoever allowed or approved the meeting between the cardinal, his bishops, and the presidency, what really are they expecting to get from it? So let's ask this question, Sugar. Assuming after the meeting, Cardinal Onaikon went on and was that President Tinubu do much. He's been trying his best and to put the nation on a good footing.
Yeah, at least that's what we've been hearing. This is the first of his
like
kind.
He said he's not surprised because what he heard from them was not what he has been hearing from people. And you know what he told when the man talked about hunger.
Yeah, there's been hunger before now.
You know, that's a sharp contrast from what even he said, and that's Bayo Nanuga. Bayo Nanuga said there is no hunger in the land, and that's why the man said those around him were not really painting the picture of what is happening in the country. Now he admitted there has been hunger before he became president, so it means that he admitted one way or the other that is hunger. And by the record of the MBS, the reform, something that is yielding results, drove over 100 million Nigerians into poverty.
Of course.
So what is the essence of that reform? Now, Oluyede, the Minister of Finance, said we had about $15.5 billion in reserve. Now, in their case, it's like me as a father. I have 10 million naira in the accounts.
Yeah.
And my children came to me. They said they needed money for exercise book. I said, don't worry, you will soon get it. I'm working on something. It will materialize very soon, and we all enjoy. Then, at the end of the first time, they chase them home. Second time, they chase them home. I still assuring them that don't worry, everything will be fine. They are hungry, and I have 10 million naira breathing somewhere in the bank. So that is exactly what we are having now in this country. We are busy saving money, and at the same time, we are still borrowing money.
I tell you.
In the 8 years of Buhari, we have 110 trillion naira was spent on first subsidy. Now move the first subsidy, but in the equivalent security pipeline, whatever they are forgetting the name they call it. In 3 years, we already spent 210 trillion naira.
Yeah. All right. Now the big question is: should security spending focus more on salaries or equipment? All right. President Tinubu has actually increased military salaries. I mean, as we're rounding off right now, do you believe higher pay alone will improve Nigeria's security?
Higher pay is important, but I want a challenge to the security operator that they should improve on their intelligence gathering.
Exactly. Quick facts. Quick facts for the day. Nigeria's defense and security sector remains one of the largest components of the federal budget, all right, reflecting the country's multiple internal security challenges. The latest salary review increased the military wage by roughly 40% from about 660 billion naira to 924 billion naira. Also shows that right now.
We just hope that we actually get the money anyway.
I tell you. All right, that's today's front page. Remember, headlines tells you what happened, but understanding the story helps you decide what it means. Join the conversations by calling us or sharing your thoughts via social media platforms at 937 Rhythm FM, and of course, we'll get to take it up from there. All right, still the morning drive, and thank you, Mr. Wale, for stopping by. The rest of the morning drive continues right here. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Dami, for assisting today. All right, guys. The rest of the morning drive continues right here. It's the Sugar of Lagos. I'll be right back.
Across Lagos, Port Harcourt, Benin, Abuja, and every heartbeat in between. One rhythm, one sound, one family. And now, beyond borders, streaming across continents, connecting Nigerians in the diaspora and global listeners searching for the sound of home. We didn't just grow, we grew with you. Through weddings and wins, through heartbreaks and hustle, through late nights, early mornings, and everything in between. Because it was never just radio. It's lifestyle, it's culture, it's connection. More music, less noise, more feeling, more life. This isn't just a station. This is your rhythm. Rhythm FM.